Ever since the beginning, there's always been a mystery behind what the Pekka is or where it even came from. There are countless theories trying to explain this, but in the 11 years of the game being out, there still isn't any definitive proof backing these theories. There is no other troop as mysterious as this one, and it's also one of the most unique ones as it's the only troop that is a robot. And yes, I will prove that later in this video. But first, we need to look at the history of the Pekka in Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, as that will help everything make sense. The Pekka was one of the original troops that came with the release of Clash of Clans in 2012, and its original description was, "Is Pekka a knight, a samurai, a robot? No one knows. Pekka's armor absorbs even the mightiest of blows, but it doesn't handle electricity too well. This is because it actually used to take 2 times the damage from hitting Teslas, and this is a really important detail that we will get to later in the video. However, 3 years later, they did end up making it so Pekkas didn't take extra damage anymore, and that obviously caused them to remove the last bit of the description. But between this time, it was also revealed that the Pekka was a girl, with a new loading screen saying, "The armor on Pekka is so heavy that spring traps don't affect her." This basically answered one question, but there's still tons more left unanswered. She also really likes butterflies, and I'm not too sure what to do with this information, but I thought I might as well throw it in here. In 2018, the Super Pekka was introduced with the builder-based update, and it was similar to the normal Pekka. In her announcement, it said, "The Super Pekka is a strong offensive machine, samurai, knight, person," which again brought up the question of what it actually was, but it still confirmed that it was a girl. And in the build-based 2.0 update, her name was changed to Power Pekka to avoid confusion with the new super troops in the home village. The Power Pekka is also available in the clan capital, but there aren't any notable changes, so I'm not going to bother talking about it. But now that we've looked at the Pekka in Clash of Clans, let's look at it in Clash Royale, as it is quite a bit different. There are 2 different variants in the game, the Mini Pekka and the Normal Pekka. The normal one is pretty much the same as the one in Clash of Clans, so we'll just talk about the Mini Pekka. This one is different because it is obviously small, but it is also a male, and you can see that in its announcement video.
And he has one thing to say.
Another really interesting thing is that he likes pancakes, which is different than the normal Pekka who likes butterflies. Now, I'm not too sure if that has anything to do with figuring out the origin of the Pekka, but I thought it was kind of interesting. But that's about it for the history of the Pekkas. I know I could have went deeper, but I really want to get to these theories that people have came up with. One user posted their theory about the Pekka over 9 years ago on Reddit, and obviously I'm not going to bore you with reading all of it, but if you want, you can pause the video and read it yourself. Basically, the user explains that the Pekka got the way she is by drinking elixir. The user says that the king and queen got the way they are by drinking dark elixir, and a lot of the elixir troops drank dark elixir, which turned them into dark elixir troops. Some examples being the giant and golem, and the goblin and minion. And so far the theory makes sense, but the author says that a hog drank normal elixir and became the Pekka. This is the part I heavily disagree with because it honestly doesn't make too much sense. How does a pig turn into a robot just by drinking elixir? While the rest of the theory made sense, this part just didn't, so let's look at another theory. This one was released 7 years ago and was a video on YouTube, so let's check it out.
Pekkas are more bare elements of traditional parts of samurai gear, hinting that the Pekka's origin might be in Asia. Talking about butterflies, the butterfly is a symbol for transformation in many cultures, since it undergoes metamorphosis, transforming it from a gooey, ugly worm into a pretty swooshy bug. So maybe she's a ghost from Asia looking for salvation and ultimately for transformation through battle and destruction.
This is a really interesting theory, and it's pretty unique compared to most other theories out there. I definitely think it can make sense and is a good explanation for why she likes butterflies, and also explains the samurai reference in the loading screen. But the most important question about exactly what it is still remains unanswered with this theory. But now let's look at one final theory which I think is definitely the most plausible. It comes from a channel called World of Clash and the video talks about the creation of all 3 Pekkas, so let's take a quick look, and obviously if you want the full story then make sure to check out the whole video.
So the brothers offered to make it up to the chief for supposedly losing the battle for their village. So they offered to build him something that could help. The chief allowed this but told them that they had until sunset. Otherwise they will both be exiled off the island. So both brothers got to work, attempting to create their best creation yet. And by the time sunset came, they both met the chief outside of his town hall. And then the chief asked Bill to present his creation first. So Bill brought forward a shiny blue piece of armor. And when Bill explained what it was, he said, "Since I cannot fight in battles for you, I created something that can. I present to you the builder's personal electronic killing knight assistant, or for short, the Bibka." Then the builder flicked a switch on its back and the Bibka came to life. He showed what the Bibka could do. It was the strongest troop the chief had ever seen. He could swing hard enough to send barbarians flying, and its armor was built out of the strongest materials that could be found on the island. And the king was extremely impressed.
So yeah, this is what I think is the most plausible explanation, since it just makes sense that it would be something that got built since, well, it's a robot. The rest of the video does talk about the other 2 Pekkas and I'm not gonna get into all of it, but basically the other builder went and created his own Pekkas to rival his brother, and that's how the Super Pekka and Mini Pekka were created. But we still need to actually prove that it's a robot and not a costume or an outfit that someone else is wearing. So let's get straight to that. The first bit of evidence comes from the Clash-orama episode titled Clash of Pekkas. In this short episode, you basically have a barbarian and a Pekka facing off to see who is better, and obviously the Pekka wins pretty easily. But it then starts to rain and the Pekka gets absolutely ruined by that, and that is because it's a robot. If there was a person inside, then they would have came out or turned it off to avoid damage, but that's not what happened and the Pekka basically died. And in another Clash-orama episode titled 12 Days of Clashmas, you can see the king open up a Pekka and use it as a music player. There clearly is no space for anyone to fit in there, and that makes it pretty obvious that the Pekka is a robot, and it can be used for a couple different things. The robot theory also makes sense considering that Pekkas can't handle too much electricity since it can short circuit them. They are obviously able to handle more electricity than a living being, but it's bad for them if there's too much, as proven by the Pekkas taking 2x more damage from hidden Teslas many years ago. Let me know what you guys think about all of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.